Have you ever noticed how easy it is for weak men to build a following? Just copy someone else's words, mimic someone's lifestyle, post some flashy edits, and boom, fan base. Validation. But strip away the audience, and they're hollow. See, real power doesn't need applause. It doesn't seek permission. It doesn't hold back for comfort. That's where the Sigma male enters. He's been quiet, watching, calculating, letting people think he's passive, letting the world believe he'll stay polite. But when that line gets crossed, when he decides enough is enough, the silence dies, and everything fake around him goes with it. He doesn't build a fan base. He builds fallout. He doesn't show up to be liked. He shows up to shift tectonic plates. And when he stops holding back, nothing remains untouched. Not the room, not the rules, not the people who thought he'd stay small. This is what happens when the most unpredictable man in the room stops pretending to play nice and starts making moves that shake the algorithm and the ground you stand on. When the man with no leash, no loyalty, and no public filter finally decides to move. Let's break it down 10 savage shifts that happen when a Sigma male stops holding back. 1. The filter drops. Brutal truth over polite lies. Most men wear a mask. They say what's expected. They pad their words in soft disclaimers. They pretend they don't notice the lies around them all to keep the peace. But the Sigma male, he sees the lies. And when he stops holding back, he starts slicing them in half. The first thing that changes when a Sigma lets go is his voice. It sharpens, becomes surgical. He doesn't insult. He doesn't yell. He just speaks truth so raw, they rip apart fake personalities like a scalpel. No more polite silence during nonsense conversations. No more nodding at delusion. No more sugarcoating mediocrity to avoid discomfort. When the Sigma opens his mouth, the room changes, not because he's loud, but because he's undeniable. He'll call out laziness disguised as victimhood. He'll dismantle emotional manipulation in real time. He'll say what everyone's too scared to admit, and he won't blink while doing it. That truth, it doesn't make him popular. It makes him dangerous. And here's the thing, he doesn't care if it offends you. If the truth cuts you, that's on you. The Sigma's not speaking to coddle your ego. He's speaking to clean the infection. When the filter drops, there's no applause, just tension, discomfort, fallout. But that's the point. He doesn't talk to be liked. He talks to wake the dead. 2. His boundaries become razor wire. When the Sigma stops holding back, his boundaries don't just get firmer, they become razor wire. What once felt like space now becomes a wall. No warning, no softness, just locked gates and cold silences. He no longer explains why he's unavailable. He no longer lets people check in out of guilt. The access people once had the favors, the time, the emotional labor gone, revoked without apology. Because the Sigma realizes that most people don't appreciate access. They exploit it. And now, he's done being convenient. The fake friendships, the one-sided support systems, the emotional leeches, they all get cut off. He doesn't block out of anger. He vanishes out of necessity. He doesn't ghost you. He closes the gates behind him and burns the path back. And if you reach for him again, all you'll find are the sharp edges of a man who outgrew you in silence. 3. He dismantles every weak link, including himself. The Sigma doesn't just cut others off. He audits himself just as ruthlessly. When he stops holding back, the first person to get interrogated is the one in the mirror. Old habits, cut. Old thought patterns, reprogrammed. Emotional triggers, faced head-on. He doesn't carry baggage, he incinerates it. Because the Sigma understands that his growth isn't someone else's responsibility. He doesn't blame his parents. Doesn't whine about circumstances, doesn't keep dragging his past into every new version of himself. This is where most men plateau, blaming their limits on something outside of them. But the Sigma knows your old self is the anchor. So he drops the knife and cuts the rope. And when he rebuilds, there's nothing soft or sentimental about it, just steel, precision, and silence. 4. He becomes the storm you can't predict. Sigma males are already hard to read, but when they stop holding back, they become something else entirely, untraceable. You think he's going one way, he disappears. You expect a reaction, He responds with action, and it's already too late. He doesn't play checkers. He doesn't even play chess. He flips the board. People who once thought they had him figured out suddenly realize they never knew him at all. His moves get bolder. His silence gets louder. And when he returns, it's not for attention. It's to execute something no one saw coming. He's not just unpredictable, he's uncontainable. 5. He withdraws from the noise to return with fire. A Sigma's withdrawal isn't weakness, it's weaponization. Most men isolate when they're hurt. The Sigma isolates when he's about to evolve. He doesn't withdraw to feel sorry for himself. He withdraws to restructure everything. His time, his thoughts, his energy. He doesn't sit with the noise, he slices through it by vanishing. While others waste hours scrolling for distraction or tweeting for validation, he goes dark. He deletes apps, silences notifications, and buries himself in the grind no one will applaud. His absence isn't an escape, it's a message. He's entering a zone you don't have access to. That's the part people don't understand. They think quiet means inactive. But the Sigma's silence is his sharpest weapon. While the world throws parties and posts about mental health breaks, he's tearing his entire life down to its skeleton and rebuilding it in precision. He unplugs from dopamine. He detoxes from approval. He stops giving energy to people who only ever drained it. Every word not spoken becomes a blueprint. Every hour alone becomes leverage. And when he returns, he doesn't announce it. He doesn't post a comeback reel. He walks back into the world sharper, colder, and more surgical, and people feel the shift. Because while they were celebrating noise, he was becoming the signal. 6. He forces truth into every room. He enters. When the Sigma stops holding back, his presence becomes a test. He walks in and weak men feel it. Insecure people shrink. Manipulators twitch. Because they know they've got nothing to hide behind now. He doesn't need to say much. His energy does the math. His eye contact slices through egos. And when he speaks, people remember what silence felt like before he opened his mouth. This isn't about intimidation. It's about truth. Raw, untamed truth that doesn't need decoration or volume to sting. He makes every room uncomfortable not because he wants to dominate it, but because his presence exposes what's fake in it. 7. He stops explaining his standards and starts enforcing them. A Sigma male doesn't negotiate with mediocrity, but when he's been holding back, he sometimes tolerates it out of strategy. Once that leash is off, tolerance dies. He won't lower his standards just to be understood. He won't make excuses for lazy people. He doesn't give second chances to those who already had their shot. His boundaries become commandments. His expectations become non-negotiables. If you can't meet them, he's not arguing. He's exiting. 8. He kills the echo chamber, starting with yours. You ever try to justify your excuses to a Sigma male who stopped holding back? Good luck. He won't validate your journey. He'll dismantle your comfort zone word by word. He's not cruel. He's clear. Crystal clear about what works and what's just noise. If you're addicted to motivational fluff, he'll delete your script. If you're hiding behind "it's not the right time," he'll burn your calendar. He won't debate your dreams. He'll expose the fact that you're still dreaming. And if you can't handle that clarity, that's your cue to exit. 9. He doesn't let people fix their image. He forces them to face it. When the Sigma drops the leash, he doesn't let people pretend anymore. That friend who plays victim, he calls it out. That partner who manipulates, exposed. That coworker who fakes competence, removed. He doesn't let people repaint the story. He makes them face what they've tried to edit, and he does it without yelling, without warning, just straight to the mirror. The fallout? Massive. People call him cold, intimidating, harsh. But the truth? He's just allergic to illusion. 10. He builds alone and makes sure you feel the absence. When a Sigma walks away, it's not quiet. It's haunting. Because he doesn't leave a mess, he leaves a void. He was the one who made the group think deeper, the one who set the bar higher, the one who never needed validation, but gave clarity just by existing. And when he's gone, you realize how weak the foundation was. He doesn't scream when he exits. He just vanishes. And what he built while gone, you won't see it until it's too big to ignore. No fan base, just fallout. And when you try to rebuild what he left, you'll realize it never worked without him. On a final note, the Sigma male never came to be seen. He came to build in silence. But when silence stops being enough, when the system gets too loud, too fake, too soft, he flips the switch. Not to lead, not to follow, to correct, to collapse, to leave a scar deep enough that no one forgets who shook the foundation. No fan base, just fallout. And when he's done, there won't be a podium. There won't be a quote. There'll just be echoes and the quiet fear that he might return. Because when a Sigma male stops holding back, nobody stays comfortable and nothing stays the same.